So in this video, we're going to talk about, as you can see by the title, why your attachment to the reality you want or the outcome you want in your life is actually keeping you further away from it. And now that I look back, I read like a good portion of different religions, not too far in depth. I don't know everything about everything, but I read a little bit just to get myself familiar with the experience of learning it. And in Buddhism, it talks about how we need to be detached, and detached from the physical. And it's not saying that you just shouldn't care or not think about it. But what it's saying is that it's temporary. So why are you getting attached to things that's either temporary and constantly changing, or the things that you can't control? And even in the Bible, it refers to as the 3D, or the world that we see in the outside, the illusion, as the dead world. You know what I mean? It says heaven is inside you and outside of you because you created the outside from the inside. But the outside is the things that you can't change, or it's the things that's constantly changing. So you getting attached to the outside circumstances, which means this is going to have you. It's like the law of rhythm on the Kabbalion. You know what I mean? The In life, the pendulum swings right and left. You know what I mean? There's going to be good days and bad days, but your job is to just keep still. You know what I mean? Be the sky, don't be the storm. Because if you get on the pendulum and you're getting swayed by the shit you see in the 3D, and you going left and right, then you're going to be all off and wacky. You know what I mean? But I don't really blame a lot of us, because when we first came into the world, that's how we were taught. We were kind of taught that the 3D world, the outside world, is the cause, and we are affected by it. We see the news, we get affected by the news. We see things going on with our parents, our personal lives, we get affected by that also. So we're kind of subconsciously just taught that, okay, I guess this is the real world, and I gotta react off of this, not realizing that this is the real world. Your mind is, you know what I mean? Because everything you see out here in the 3D reality once started off in somebody's mind. So the whole point is to not forget about your desires or not forget about the reality that you want. It's really to understand that it's already here. And that's one thing you really got to get through your head. It's like all you doing is making the unseen seen. But it's only unseen because we're in these vessels. But everything already exists right now. Creation is already finished. So as soon as you say you want something, or you think it, or you say it, or you script it, or you write it down, whatever, it is done. And God, the mental consciousness is working in your life to make that happen for you. You just can't look in the outside for validation if things are going right, because the cause is you. You only get what you get on the outside from how you're being on the inside. It's not vice versa. Like, picture you getting sick from a food you ate, and then you throw that food up. And instead of you eating a different type of food to heal you and make you feel better, you eat the food you just threw up, expecting that to cure you. That's kind of what we do in this world. We look at the outside world after we spat something out of it. You know what I mean? Because it's our perspective. It's a mirror of us. So we spit something out and we don't like to see it, but then we retake it in. We observe on the outside. We're supposed to be observing from here, and then we retake it in, and then we spit it back out again. And it's like a constant cycle. You know what I mean? So the whole point is not to look at the 3D for validation, because if you're looking at the 3D, you're not going to see the things you want to see, because the world is moving from you. So if you're looking at the 3D to give you answers, it's just going to sway you and control you, and you're not going to get the answers that you want to see, which is going to have you constantly in that same cycle. So in my opinion, the best way to fix this is to give yourself the experience. Think about it. If everything already exists right now, the unseen, go in your imagination and give yourself that experience. Because, like I said, we were taught to believe that the outside world is the real world, and we react off of that. But after you realize that the outside world is the effect and we are the cause, and the only way to change the outside is to change our state of mind and our state of consciousness, you go on your side and give this to your real reality. You know what I mean? Because what I've learned is, the more I go in my mind to experience my dream life and just do visualization or whatever you want to do, the more I don't really need it on the outside, because now I'm kind of like rewiring myself to really know, like, okay, no, this is the real world. You know what I mean? So when I'm going through and maneuvering throughout my day, I'm not expecting to see anything, because I was already validated with me in my mind, in my state of consciousness. You know what I mean? My only job when going out into the real world is to give things a meaning that I see in my head, or just to not be affected by it. You know what I mean? Just not react to it. Because the moment you react to it, that's kind of how you know what state of consciousness you're in, because the person of you who has what you want wouldn't be reacting to the silly shit that you see on a regular basis. You know what I mean? You will be way above it. So the best way is to kind of give yourself the experience, because like you really get used to, okay, this is the real world, and then you really believe what you see, and then you understand that, okay, it's just a matter of time before God unveils what I already know that's happening in my mind. But the more you're attached to something, the more you push it away. And you see this in every area of life. You know, my fellows who got girls out there or who had a girl, the more you attach to her, the more you keep trying to get her and grab her and observe her and keep an eye on her, the more sneaky shit she do, the more she runs away from you, the more she takes longer to respond in text. And then vice versa. When you know you already have them, and you know, well, whatever, she ain't going nowhere. That's when she kind of wants you more. And everything in life works the same way because it's really just energy. It's really just knowing that you have whatever you say you have already. So you got to be detached from the 3D. You know what I mean? Understand that's not the real world. Understand this is the real world. So go in your mind, give yourself the experience so you're not swayed by what your 3D and your physical body sees. You know what I mean? But like I said, that's the dead world. The stuff you see on the outside really doesn't exist because it's the effect. You can't change an effect with an effect. You only can change the effect with a cause. So that's what I think. You know what I mean? I think that the more you give it to yourself, the more you just know that it's done, no matter what you're seeing on the outside, the more you can like just be more one and be more present. You know what I mean? Understand that everything is done and taken care of already. You know what I mean? Because like just me, my personal life, I just see how I've grown just from before. Before I used to react to everything. Like I said, I used to think that I was a certain way, but my state of consciousness proved itself right by the stuff I was reacting to in the 3D world. Nowadays, I'm not saying that I don't notice stuff, but I don't really react to it because I understand it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? I can't control everything that happens to me, but I can control how I respond to it. And you kind of got to have that same notion too. Like I can't control everything that happens outside of me, but I can control how I respond to it. And the way you respond to it is going to shift you into a state of you getting that reality, whether you like it or not. It's just going to give you more of what you realize and more of what you expect and more what you perceive and are aware of in your reality. So don't be too attached. You know what I mean? You kind of got to be ungrateful, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Because nobody comes home each day when you got your house, you have your car. You're not coming home each day after the, let's say after the first month or two you having the car. You're not, oh, my car's still at the house. My car's still at the house. No, you know you have your car. You know it's not going anywhere. You're not that excited. You're not that pressed to keep seeing your car on a regular basis after a certain period of time you having it. The same way to be with your desires, because if you already have it already, you wouldn't be pressed and looking for it. You know what I mean? Because you looking for something signifies that you don't have it. And the Bible tells you, for those who don't have, even what you do have will be taken away. So that's why you keep losing stuff, because you keep being in a state of mind that doesn't have. So, like I said, give yourself the experience. Understand that this world, don't get attached to it because it's constantly changing. You know what I mean? Why get attached to something that's either an illusion and that's not set in stone, which means that you can change by just perceiving something from the inside, or get attached to something that's just not going anywhere, something that you just can't change. You know what I mean? So I hope that helped. Don't look at the 3D. It can't validate you.